Hi guys, okay, so for today I'm going to show you how to make some homemade egg pasta. Remember too, you don't have to add eggs to your pasta. You could just make it a regular plain pasta with just flour, water, olive oil, and a little bit of salt. But I'm going to add those addition of eggs to it today. I've had my water boiling. Remember, you want to add salt to your water also to bring the boiling point up and also to season your pasta inside. I also have a vodka sauce that I put together here. I remember telling you guys a little bit about different types of sauce. So what I used was a little bit of Alfredo sauce and a little bit of just regular marinara sauce. Mix the two together and then you have a vodka sauce. It turns into a little bit of a pink color. Remembering too, I put my sauce in the pan so that I can heat it up, so once my pasta is done, I can just dump my warm pasta right into my sauce. So you always want to make sure that you're taking your pasta and putting it into your sauce instead of vice versa. Also, I made up a mixture here. You can see right in there, it's really nice coloring. It is actually some whole ricotta cheese that I have, and this is going to be for my ravioli. So I put some ricotta cheese, a little bit of basil, some garlic salt, garlic powder, and some Italian seasonings to this mixture, and that's what I will use to fill my raviolis once I roll out my dough. You can use a variation of a lot of different things to put in the middle of raviolis or tortellinis or something like that. But that's pretty traditional when you're making something like raviolis like we're gonna make today. Okay, so I'm gonna show you right now how to make some homemade pasta. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2.5 cups of flour right to my board here. So 1, okay. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fork. This is very important, and you're going to see right here, I'm going to make a little well in the middle here. So I'm making this hole, and this is my home for my eggs, where they will go when I crack them in here. So I want to make sure that this can hold all my eggs. I am going to have 4 large eggs and 1 egg yolk, so a total of 5 eggs. I'm also going to have 3 teaspoons of olive oil, but I'm going to crack my eggs right into here. So I have 1, and these are beautiful eggs. They came from my parents' chickens. So you can see that really nice orange yolk there. Really pretty. So I'm going to try to make sure that this doesn't come out, but that's why I have my bench scraper that's right here. And then 1 yolk. So 4 eggs, 1 yolk. And that'll go there. 3 teaspoons of olive oil. 1. 2. And that was a little over on that one, so. And a little bit of salt. Calls for half a teaspoon of salt. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to mix these eggs in to my flour using my fork. This would be like we're making a dough, like a flour dough for bread, but we don't have any leaveners in here. So remember the last time I showed you a bread recipe, I was making some pizza dough and I had to activate my yeast. We don't have anything like that in your pasta dough. You're not using any leaveners. The only leavener that would actually do anything would be your eggs. We know that that's a natural leavener, but we are going to be boiling it so it won't rise or anything. Remembering too, fresh pasta does not double in size like your dried pasta does. So I'm going to use now my bench scraper to kind of get all the little bits up here and incorporated. Once I see that it looks pretty good, I'll start to knead this by hand. So just taking it and kneading it. You can do this right on your countertop or on a cutting board like I'm doing. And the kneading process is a little tedious. It does take some time, but you just have to be patient. You want to see your dough come together, be nice and beautiful and elastic. So this looks good. It's starting to come together. I'm just getting out all the little bits and pieces that I have here. So see how I'm doing this, and I'm using the inside palm of my hand, so I'm rolling the dough in, and I'm letting it come together. That's how you knead something. And this is looking really nice. Just keeping it going. So this is how you would knead something too if you were making bread or pizza dough, because it is a type of dough, but it is pasta, and it's an egg pasta. And like I said, you guys can make this without the eggs if you would like to, but I think obviously the eggs give it a lot better flavor. So I had made some pasta dough earlier too, just to see how that would work out in the KitchenAid mixer with my dough hook. And so that's an option as well. If you wanted to save some time and you want to knead your pasta dough in the mixer, you can do that as well. But you can see this is looking nice. It's starting to look nice and smooth. Exactly what I'm trying to achieve here with my dough. You can always, once you're done with this, if you wanted to make this a day ahead or something, you could just wrap it up in the fridge, put it in there. The pasta dough will last up to a couple of days. You just need to make sure that it's completely covered so that it doesn't dry out. Really nice looking. See how beautiful that looks? It's almost there. Okay, that looks great. So I'm actually going to get rid of this. I'll put that dough right there. I'm just going to rinse my hands off really quickly, and I'll be right back. And then I will show you how to roll it out and to make some pasta out of that. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut this into fours. So I'll have 4 halves here, so I can just work with one at a time. So I'm gonna go grab some more flour. So you want to flour your board, whatever you're going to be working with. And then you're going to want to roll out your pasta dough. So this I'm going to just make into linguine noodles, or what we've talked about too, some fettuccine noodles. So rolling it out. You want it to be pretty thin. And remember all the shapes of pasta that we talked about in the last week. If you're making homemade dough, you can make tons of different shapes if you'd like. So you be the judge of what you want to make. Remembering too that if you had a pasta machine, you would just be rolling this through the pasta machine and it would be coming out the size you want it. But since I don't have that with me, I am doing it the good old-fashioned way with my rolling pin. Okay, so this looks pretty good, the thickness here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run my knife through making some beautiful fettuccine noodles. Another technique that you could do is you can fold it up like an accordion. And run your knife through it as well to make strips. You can cut them into longer strips if you wanted to, and layer them for lasagna. You can do all sorts of things with them. So these are nice little pieces of pasta for my sauce. I'll just finish here, and then I'm going to keep those longer strips right there so that I can make some raviolis with them. And obviously, this is very rustic looking. Okay, so I'm going to keep those there because I'm going to boil them up in just a second. Now I'm going to show you. I want these to be pretty spot on of the same size square. And I'll make another one, and these ones I'm going to show you a little something different with it. Okay, so I'm going to just roll these guys out just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to get my mixture that I made over here. And I'm just going to put a little bit inside of that ricotta mixture. Now I'm going to place it on top. Don't put too much or it'll come out the sides. Now what you want to do is taking a fork is just crimp down those edges. So it's like sealing an envelope with a beautiful ricotta cheese package inside. Okay, so there is one ravioli. And another. And why I left these ones was I wanted to show you another shape that you could do. So if you didn't want to use up too much, you can put it like in the center here. And let's get that out. And fold it into a triangle shape. Another way you can make those raviolis like that. So really simple and easy, and you can be creative with the filling that you want inside of these raviolis. Remembering too, fresh pasta only takes 1 to 2 minutes to cook. Dried pasta around 9, sometimes even 11 minutes, depending on the type of pasta that you are making. So very short cooking time for your fresh pasta. Okay, so I'm going to show you. First, I'm going to add in my pasta noodles right into the water. Remember to give them a little bit of a stir so that they don't stick together. Those guys will take no time, just about 2 minutes or so. You'll see that they're starting to float to the top. Remembering too, you want to make sure that your water is at a boil so that it sets the pasta. Remembering too that there's eggs in here, so if you're adding your pasta to cold or even lukewarm water, it's going to take too long for them to cook, and it's just going to turn it into mush, and then that's when they get really sticky as well. So this shouldn't take very long. I'm going to get my sauce heated up here too, so that it is ready to go once these noodles come out. I don't even need to strain them really. I just can add them straight into here. And getting a little bit of pasta water is great too. It gives it a little bit of flavor inside that sauce, and it really brings everything together. So these look good. Remember, you want to cook your pasta until al dente, almost done, or to the tooth. You can see obviously with homemade pasta, it's different because you don't have that dry flavor like you do with your dried pasta. So it is a little bit harder to achieve that al dente with your fresh pasta, but you still can. And since my noodles are going to be coming out too really super hot, this looks great. So these are done. So I want to keep my water intact because I'm going to be using it for my raviolis. So I'm just adding my pasta straight into my sauce. And letting that all come together. I'll let that cook up too, just a little bit, and I want to add my raviolis now. Same thing, these little guys, super pretty. Put them right into the water, and then we'll let those cook up too, just for 2 to 3 minutes. So you can see this looks good, really yummy. I'll get a little plate here. So simple, not too hard, right? This is my vodka sauce with my pasta. You guys can pick whatever type of sauce you want if this is something that you're going to try and do. Clean it up a little bit so that it looks nice. Remember, we eat with our eyes. So I'm going to add a little bit too of some Parmesan cheese to the top of it. Look at that, like a restaurant. Really nice. So that's pretty, right? I'm going to turn off that sauce and I'm going to check on my raviolis. See how they're doing. Just going to actually rinse off my spatula and then I'll come right back. That's what's great about the homemade pasta, is that it doesn't take much time at all. just a couple of minutes, and you can see these guys are starting to float to the top too. So they're almost done as well, and then I'll put them right into my sauce and then eat these delicious guys. So you can see that this is pretty simple. You don't have to add eggs to your pasta. If you don't want to your pasta dough, you can make just a plain one. You could use other types of flour, like wheat flour. Even if you needed to do a gluten-free option, there's different types of flours out there to use too. But get creative. Come up with a wonderful either pasta or noodle dish for this cooking lab. It can be really anything you want. So let me know. Make sure that you fill out the follow along notes. These are done. So come on over and see this last thing. These raviolis, I'm gonna put them right into my sauce. So I have my square raviolis and my triangles, and they look really nice. I'll open up one for you so you can see the middle. You see the cheese in there? Looking good. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this demo, and I hope that your pasta or your noodle dish comes out great. Have a great day. Fill out the notes, and I'll see you in class. Bye.